It's a new year full of new possibilities and potential failures. So, what will be the biggest stories of 2018 in the world of movies? Let's break it down. Hey movie fans, Happy New Year! So we're in the midst of a new year. I took a couple weeks off just to recuperate. Now I'm back doing videos for you guys. I'm happy to be back. So more or less what's becoming an annual tradition with me at this point is more or less trying to predict the big box office stories of the upcoming year in movies, the big hits, the big misses, anything in between, and if we have some time, any bold predictions I think that always end up making me look like a fool. First up, I'll go with the Han Solo movie. Yeah, there's no way to around this one. I'm going out on a limb. I don't even know if this is going out on a limb at this point, but I'm gonna say Han Solo, the Han Solo anthology movie, will be the lowest grossing Star Wars movie to date and the least well received. That is including Last Jedi and Rogue One. I think this will not fare well with critics or audiences, and the box office will reflect that. Don't get me wrong, I want this movie to be good. I just don't have that much faith that it will be good. However, because I'm more of an optimist, let's think of some more positive stories. Avengers Infinity War, the big 10-year culmination dating back to Iron Man, which was 10 years ago this year. Whew, that's nuts to me. I think Infinity Wars will be an awesome movie. Not only that, but I think Infinity War will be the highest grossing film of the year by a wide margin, and it will definitely cross that 2 billion mark, and it will be awesome. But I'll go out on a limb and say we're gonna have the biggest end credit scene tease of all time at the end of this one. Now what that is, I'm not sure. Maybe Galactus, if they can get that in time, but I think Galactus is the next threat after Thanos, so whenever that happens, I think Galactus is on the horizon very, very soon for whatever heroes are left standing after Infinity War. From Marvel over to DC. DC's only main theatrical release this year is James Wan's Aquaman. I think Aquaman will be good. Not great, but good, and it'll start the slow, gradual climb that DC movies have been going through, of Wonder Woman being very positively received, Justice League may have divided some fans, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and thought it was a very good step in the right direction, and I think Aquaman will continue that trend by being a good, feasible film. Nothing to truly write home about being spectacular, but it'll be awesome. However, my prediction for this one is not so much anything to do with what happens in the movie itself, but in the end credits. I think at the end credits of Aquaman, Lex Luthor will come to Black Manta and try and recruit him for the Legion of Doom or the Injustice League. Whichever they're trying to build towards for this DC universe, I think Lex Luthor will be in the end credits of Aquaman, trying to bring Black Manta into the fold, because that would just be awesome. Another tentpole franchise that we have is the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise, and we have a new one coming up this year, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, with Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt all reprising their roles from Jurassic World. I think this will be meh. I think this movie will destroy at the box office because dinosaurs and Chris Pratt. That's just a recipe for box office gold. I don't think it's going to be a recipe for a good movie this time around. I was underimpressed by the trailer, and I don't think this is going to be nearly as good as Jurassic World. Jurassic World had some flaws, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to like Fallen Kingdom nearly as much as I liked Jurassic World, and I think the audience will feel the same way. However, this is one case that I hope I'm wrong, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom ends up being awesome. But I don't think it will be. 2018, I'm sure, will bring loads of box office successes, but we're not here to talk about the successes, we're here to talk about the failures. Yay! Let's talk about the movies I think are probably going to end up not doing so hot this year at the box office. First up, we have Tomb Raider. It's a video game movie. I know. Someday the curse will be broken, but I don't think this is gonna be it. You had Michael Fassbender in Assassin's Creed. I don't think Alicia Vikander is the one to break the spell of bad video game movies. The trailers haven't really wowed me. It just looks like every other video game movie. And if they put in half as much of a budget as some previous video game movies, this movie's gonna flop hard. Another one that I think will flop this year is one that I don't really want to, but has a very, very strong, if not the strongest chance of losing the money that was invested in it. That is Pacific Rim Uprising. Now, I loved the first Pacific Rim. I thought it was really, really cool. It had more like a mature Power Rangers vibe to it until, you know, the mature Power Rangers actually came along one day. But it was a lot of fun. It had its own unique style and visual color palette, which was incredible. This Pacific Rim looks very bland and completely forgettable. Plus, the first Pacific Rim just barely made its money back, and that was mainly in no small part to the overseas market. So there's a big question mark as if Pacific Rim Rising would even come out. So I don't know if there's that much of an audience that wants to see it this time around, and the audience that was there the first time around that enjoyed it like myself, I don't know if they have that same signature fun and style from the first one that made it so unique. It just looks like a Power Rangers ripoff this time around, and I think the audience members will stay home this time for Pacific Rim. Now this one, I'm going out on a limb for this next movie for flops, but I can't shake the feeling that this is gonna be another one of those rare flops for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now he had a flop this past year with Baywatch, which, did anybody see Baywatch? This year, I think his film Rampage is not gonna do well in the box office. One, looks like it's really not connecting that much to its original comic book, video game source material, not comic book, video game source material. It just looks like every other bland action movie. But then again, The Rock could sell just about any movie these days. Like, he made San Andreas a big smash hit. So why do I think this one? I don't know. I just can't shake this feeling that he may go 2 summers in a row with one of his movies bombing, but with him being in like 5 to 6 movies a year, he can afford for one to not do well at the box office. So those are the ones that I don't think are gonna do well. What about those sleeper hits? Not the Infinity Wars or all your other big name movies that we know are gonna absolutely destroy the box office. What about those ones that are flying under the radar that we don't really hear that much about, or people aren't talking about nearly as much as they should, but probably gonna blow some people away? First up for my sleeper hits is March's Ready Player One. Now this movie really seems to have a really cool visual style and basically like Easter eggs galore, and oh, it looks just like a lot of fun. And in this pop culture obsessed world that we live in, a movie more or less using the pop culture that we know and love as a key story component like Wreck-It Ralph did, which ironically, Wreck-It Ralph is also coming out this year, which could be amazing. Wreck-It Ralph 2 breaks the internet. But Ready Player One seems to have that more teen novel, like young adult novel, but in a good way. So more like Harry Potter and less like Divergent. But mix that with Wreck-It Ralph, and it seems to have this really fun, unique style. And in no way am I looking forward to this just to see Iron Giant in live action form. That's no way in any way, shape, or form making my decision biased. I really just think that this movie is going to be surprisingly good. I think it's going to blow people away. Next up on my sleeper hits is one that really no one's talking about because I think people have forgotten that it's coming out, myself included. That is Equalizer 2, starring Denzel Washington. The first Equalizer movie I really liked, but that one also flew under the radar, especially since the final act of the movie is basically just a really violent version of Home Alone. Well, more violent version of Home Alone. I really liked the Equalizer. It's basically just Denzel and Taken, essentially, but cooler. I think this one will sneak up on people, just like the John Wick franchise has, of like quietly under the radar awesome action movies, and I think that trend will continue with Equalizer 2. Then we have A Quiet Place, starring Emily Blunt and John Krasinski in their first movie together, which I'm actually very excited to see. The trailers have really hooked me. I've seen Last Jedi a couple times, and A Quiet Place's trailer has shown in front of all of them. Each time, the audience watching the trailer is dead silent. You cannot hear anything, which to me that just shows you've made a really good trailer. The trailer blows me away. The premise to me is interesting. I always like when horror movies understand the importance of sound and atmosphere in a movie, and A Quiet Place seems to have really nailed that, so I'm really looking forward to it. But the sleeper hit of the year, I think, will also be another horror movie that seems to be going under a lot of people's radar because, as much as it pains me to say, it's a franchise on life support, but I think this movie is going to give it the much needed CPR that it needs. Blumhouse's Halloween. The original cast of the Halloween movie, except for the ones that died in the first movie, have come back for Halloween. This movie, it's kind of up in the air as to whether or not it's a sequel to Halloween 2, or if it's a sequel to the original 1978 Halloween, which if you don't know Halloween lore, there's definitely a big difference, as there's a big reveal that happens in the second movie, which if the second movie's not canon, then it kind of changes up a whole dynamic, but I'm ranting. Why do I think Halloween, a more or less dead slasher franchise, is going to be one of the sleeper hits of the year? Because it's from Danny McBride, the goofy, awkward dude from Alien Covenant, Tropic Thunder, and a whole bunch of other random movies. The dude is making a Halloween movie, and I think it's going to be one of the better movies of the year, because they're going back to what made Halloween special. Every report I've heard is, we want to go back to the original The Shape, not the man of Michael Myers just in a random mask killing people, but the shape, the idea of Michael Myers, the not that much gore, but a whole lot of tension and suspense. And if they do that right, that could be great. It could be the horror movie that we've all wanted in the Halloween franchise for quite a while, because thanks Rob Zombie, thanks Halloween Resurrection, we've had too many bad Halloween movies, and I think this one will break the cycle and actually be one of the best horror movies of the year, basically just holding people off until It Chapter 2 of 2019. So we've got the big successes, the ones I think will fail, and then the ones in between that might sneak up on people. So, what about the bold predictions, the really big out of left field picks? First up, I think the actor for the upcoming Nightwing movie will be announced. Now, I will also go out on a limb and say that it will be a really, really unknown actor, like maybe 3 or 4 credits to his IMDb page, but like, not a big name like a Zac Efron or the dude from Stranger Things and Power Rangers like some people are thinking. I think this kid's going to be completely out of left field, and that's going to be a very good thing. Now, continuing on the DC trend, I think Ben Affleck will be out as Batman officially this year. I think Warner Brothers and Ben Affleck both will officially confirm that he's moving on after Flashpoint, and he will be replaced with a new actor. Now, who that new actor will be, I also think will be announced. I don't know. Some people are saying John Hamm. I don't think that'll be the case, but I can almost guarantee that Ben Affleck will be replaced, and his replacement will be announced at some point this year, with his final appearance being in the Flashpoint movie. Speaking of Flashpoint, I think we'll also get some first official images from the Flashpoint movie. So I think they'll start working on it this year, and some photos will start popping up. Like not set photos, but like actual in costume. These are official stills, like a la Entertainment Weekly type official stills, will be released in the tail end of this year to get us kind of hyped up for more or less a DC reboot or a DC rebirth, if you will. Now, this next prediction may be my most out of left field that I make today, but I really stick by it, and I hope I'm right on this one. I think production on the untitled Uncharted movie will officially begin. We heard quite a few months back that they're making an Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland and written by the guy that wrote The A-Team and The Grey, and it's going to be like set before the games, and I think this will be the year that we actually get this production started. It's been in just development limbo for long enough. I think this is the year that we actually start the Uncharted movie process, like completely. It's not coming out this year, but I think the process will begin this year. Another out of left field pick, but I feel very, very confident, especially after that deal that was made a couple weeks back. I think Disney will be announcing that they are working on a Fantastic Four movie, and the internet will rejoice. They will rejoice for one of two reasons. One, because Disney's gonna do it right this time, and two, my part 2 of this prediction is Disney will announce that they will not be alone in this movie. They will bring in someone to help bring them into the universe. Like how Iron Man helped usher in Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming into the MCU, we will have another key character join the Fantastic Four in their story, and we won't have Doctor Doom in that movie. They will announce that it will be someone else. Maybe a Skrulls tie-in, because it has already been confirmed that the Skrulls are with Captain Marvel, fighting her in that movie that's coming out. So maybe some Skrulls connection, but we will have a main Avenger, potentially Hulk, if he survives Infinity Wars, maybe Captain America, but we'll have a key player in the Fantastic Four movie that will be announced at some point this year. And last for my bold predictions, the Venom movie coming out this year, I think it'll be revealed when the film comes out that this movie is in fact in the MCU. Before the Fox deal, I don't think this would have happened. I think they would have gone their separate ways. But this time, I think Disney is trying to have a more all-inclusive universe in terms of having some dark stories, some more family-oriented stories. Like, whether we want to admit it or not, the Netflix universe is still in the MCU universe, even though they will never ever cross. I can almost guarantee that. They're in the same universe. And so we're gonna, I think Venom will be confirmed into this MCU, but just won't play as big of a part as some other roles. Not only that, but I think Tom Holland will make a quick cameo in Venom. Not anything big, maybe set up something further down the line, but I think Venom will take place in the MCU, and we'll have a cameo from our favorite web-slinging wall crawler. But yeah, those are my bold predictions of the year. How far off do you guys think I am? Well, let me know in the comments below. What are some of your bold predictions for the movie world in 2018? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.